Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn and Bruce McGowan. Now, one of the things we want to get into here is football players filing tax returns in many states. And it's not just football players, it's all pro athletes. A lot of people don't know this, that they have to file tax returns in every state that has an income tax.
Where they play.
Where they play. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. In other words, say
Can you imagine?
All 50 states. Some of them don't have tax.
But in other words, let's say you play for the Tennessee Titans and you got a road game this week at New Orleans, so you have to file in Louisiana. And the next week you have a game in San Francisco, so you have to file in California. Is that right?
Well, yeah, you wait. I mean, obviously you wait till April 15th or whatever. You know.
Well, that's where you come in. You were an accountant,
So
right?
that's I got the master's in tax, but I gave it up for Lent, or gave it up for this. You know.
Hey.
Wait a minute, if you got 8 road games in 8 different towns, you got to file tax returns for those 8 states that you.
Unless it's like Texas that doesn't have one.
And that's true with the other sports too.
Yeah,
Baseball, let's say.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Now it depends. Obviously, if you're a low hanging, not low, if you're like a rookie who gets low contract, then the proportion of what you're making in each state might not be enough to file. Might not be enough to file.
But I would think it would be you.
But nowadays, I mean.
Yeah, but if you're Jarek Jeter.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And you were playing. I mean,
It doesn't make sense to me though, because I mean that would be like if you're working for a company and the company sends you on the road,
exactly,
and you're working on the road for a week, the company is paying your salary, and you don't have to.
Totally agree with you. That's right. I mean, you're right, because if I work for a California company, I only pay taxes in California, even if they send me all around the country.
Right.
Now this is true in the NFL.
It's in all pro sports.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Why? But why?
Well, because each state kind of says
They
want our fingers in the pie.
Yeah,
I mean, some things don't make sense, but they just want it.
Well, there's a lot of money involved there.
Yeah. So they have here. Okay.
Well, what if I was a CEO of a company? Well, let's say my salary was $1 billion, whatever. And I've got companies all over the country, and I got to travel to see what's going on. I'm only paying taxes in the state that I live in.
Yeah, but pro athletes, it's a whole different animal. It's sort of like, why does baseball have antitrust? Right. I mean, that's been challenged, and they say, oh, baseball's different. Why? Because it is. Tradition, right? So
you know what Mickey Mantle said? Why does baseball have antitrust? I don't know. Why do they have antitrust? What does that mean?
What does that mean? Yeah. I don't trust anybody. I know about antitrust. And then if you're like for New York, they also have a city tax, right? So you got to file a.
Oh, that's right. I worked in New York City. I remember that.
Remember that?
Yes, doesn't Philadelphia do the same thing? Doesn't it? It's weird. If you
New Jersey too.
If you work in Philadelphia, you got to pay Philadelphia tax, even if you live in the burbs or something,
Is that right?
Delaware.
Some of them have reciprocity. There you go. Where they give you credit for paying taxes in other states. But here's the funky thing. This is California for you. Now, I don't know if they changed the rules on this. It's been a while since I looked at it. But California what they would do is they basically look at the highest tax rate possible. So if you made only 10% of your income in California, you just don't say, well, okay, if I made, let's say, $100,000, and you say, okay, I made 10% in California, just take 10,000, put that on the tax return. No. They say, what's the tax on 100,000? And then say, now we're going to take, and you only have to pay 10% of that. So basically, they nail you for whatever the highest tax bracket you could be in.
What if you were a company? What if you were a company and you had your headquarters in Liechtenstein?
Okay.
But you lived in Truckee.
Yep. Well,
How would that?
Well, is that? Oh, actually, Truckee's in California, not Nevada, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, would you pay? I mean, if the base of your company was in a foreign country, would you?
No, you see, if you're domiciled here, you have to pay taxes here.
Dang.
Yeah.
We're getting around it.
That's what all these offshore things are about.
And the
Cayman
IRS.
Islands.
And boy, has the IRS been in the news lately.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you ever dealt with the IRS, by the way? The thing is, if you have your ducks in a row, no problem. But if you don't, oh my goodness.
Yeah. But even if you do have your ducks in a row, just going through an audit,
it's a pain.
I mean, I've represented hundreds of people before the IRS, and I'm like Perry Mason. I've never lost a case, But when I got audited twice, 10 years apart, I didn't represent myself because that old adage, he who acts as his own attorney has a fool for a client.
Right.
I figured the same thing with an accountant, So even though I was squeaky clean, it's just you never know. I mean, I've had situations where, people say, well, why don't I just go and represent myself? And I say, the reason you want to hire me is because I'll give you an example of the sort of things that happen. You go in front of the IRS and, they challenge a deduction. You go, well, I've been taking that same deduction for the last 10 years and you guys never said anything.
Oh,
yeah,
exactly. Good question there.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's get
You know, when I got audited,
Really, more onion layers.
I got audited twice, and I actually got money back as a result.
You know what? That's not necessarily good though, because I'll tell you why. Is that the IRS looks at that and says your tax return's wrong.
Oh,
Even though you get money back.
Right.
So next year we're going to take a look at you again because apparently you don't know how to.
Well, this was my guy that was doing it.
Yeah, but still, you know what it is.
Of course, it's my approval.
So they can make a mistake and still burn you.
Yeah, I mean they'll give you the refund,
Yeah.
but then they may still audit you because.
Yeah.
So the idea is to get and listen out there, audience, a little free tax advice here. What you want is a no change letter. That's your objective. In fact, I had that situation where I got audited. Back in 1994, I had forgotten about a certain extra charitable deduction or something, and I did. It's like go back to your records. It's easy to forget this stuff. And so what the guy who I hired, he kind of kept that in his arsenal, so that the situation is, well, Edward, you have a chance. You have a choice here. You can get back like $1,000. What do you want to do? And I said, no, a no change letter. I don't want the 1,000. I just don't want on my back for the next.
Smart move.
Right.
Well, you know your tax law though.
Yeah, to some degree, yeah.
I mean, enough that
Yeah, because here's the thing is that.
But the average Schmo would be like, give me my $1,000.
Yeah, get the letter next year.
Right.
Generally, if you get a no change letter and you get audited for almost the same sort of thing, you can show them the no change letter and they'll just walk away generally. But in your case where you got a refund and you say, well, hey, I got a refund, they go, so we're still going to audit you.
Right. Now I know why my wife got rid of that tax guy. Now I know why.
Okay, but here's something kind of interesting.
You know who my tax guy is?
No.
Paul Nave.
Oh, that's right.
The Marin County assassin.
Yeah, the boxer.
Is he an accountant?
Nave Tax and Preparation Service.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Not to do a commercial for him, but I just did.
And he was fighting until he was what? In his 40s?
No,
so
50. He's 52.
Yeah, he was still fighting a couple
He's
years ago.
52, and he had win number 20.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing.
Right down the road from
Marin County assassin.
our fine offices here. Yeah.
There you go.
Send them in to beat up the IRS if they don't like what they
Yeah.
have to say. But now, this is kind of interesting. Spring training, though, is a tax haven for baseball players.
And why is because it's all in one place, right?
Well, let's see here. Spring training is not
Florida and Arizona.
Yeah, Florida and Arizona are the main things, okay?
Okay.
So professional athletes pay taxes in the states we play. We already talked about that. It's known as the jock tax. But most states calculate a player's jock tax. That sounds kind of disgusting.
Yes,
it does.
Based on the number of duty days. That again, it sounds disgusting
Duty
again.
days.
He said duty.
Duty days. Duty days.
Spent inside the state divided by the days the player works. Okay, so a game, practice, meeting, stuff like that, right? But in some cases, the player's duty day total is calculated from the day he arrives at spring training until the end of the season, or when the team competes for its playoff run. I mean, this thing can get really, really complicated. So unlike most sports where preseason trainings occur, the team's home, spring training, baseball, takes place in two states, Florida and Arizona. Now, Florida does not have an income tax, and while Arizona does, it doesn't begin taxing professional athletes until the beginning of their team's regular season.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, literally though, when you basically what it comes down to is holding spring trainings in these two tax havens can save elite players like the Jared Jeters hundreds of thousands of dollars in state income tax.
Now, how do colleges and universities get around it? Just the whole student athlete thing, and because there's a lot of travel there too, in a lot of different states.
Well, they're not paying the athletes, so right? College, they're not paying.
But somebody's making money,
They are. Okay, guys, we're going to cut to our first commercial break here, and here is our trivia question because the theme is golf.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What is the maximum number of clubs you're allowed to carry in your bag during a PGA governed competition? The first three callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Their website is lighthouseforfun.com. Call 888-660-4495. That's 888-660-4495 to answer this question. What is the maximum number of clubs you're allowed to carry in your bag during a PGA governed competition?
What's that number
Well,
again?
that number again is 888-660-4495. Make sure to include your name, your email address. Speak slowly and spell out your email one letter at a time, and we'll be right back.
I think I know the answer to